Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Drunken Gamer News, where we discuss recent happenings in the video game industry. I'm your host Mike. We got a very good show for you today. I'm having myself today some good old Jack and Coke, easy mixture, classic one nonetheless, one of my favorites, damn good drink, yada yada, and all that other fun stuff. Cheers. I can't really afford to drink too much, I'm saying this right now, because I actually have a meeting I gotta get to later on for one of my writing gigs, so I can't exactly afford to show up completely shit-faced. So apologize ahead of time if I'm not drinking as much as I should be. Moving on though. Now, you may remember that we started last week's episode talking about the Boston bombing that occurred. It was kind of a scary moment, very serious time. As of this episode recording, one of the two people responsible for the bombing has been caught. He confessed to it while he was in a hospital room as a result of the shootout that he was involved in. The other person that was involved was killed in a gunfight during a chase that was going on all across the state. So we now have our perps. They weren't connected to any hostile regimes or anything like that. They were just a couple of kids that just decided to go full radical on the United States because of apparently the two wars that good old George Bush decided to throw us into blindly. So now hopefully because of all this, excuse me, hopefully we can continue to work on rebuilding the area that was caught by the explosions and not let these kinds of attacks scare us anymore as we continue to press forward as a nation.
And nearly 50 other people in the neighborhood were forced to leave their homes while a bomb squad was brought in. Andreas Ethemu watched while investigators tried to figure out what was inside.
Or not. Yes, it appears that Arizona once again has to make the rest of the country look bad by calling a bomb squad on a box that was left in a residential area. The box in question was shaped and colored just like one of the question mark boxes that you would see from the Super Mario games. Instead of doing the logical thing like throwing a turtle shell at it or smacking it with a raccoon tail to see what's inside, they instead called in a bomb squad and ended up evacuating 50 people from the area while police investigated it. Now, this already sounds completely idiotic, but I bet you won't guess what they found inside the box. Mushrooms? Leaves? Feathers? A frog suit? Nope, none of those. What they found was
nothing.
Well, not quite nothing. What they did find was various papers inside the box of miscellaneous documents, leading some to believe that Bowser was planning his next major propaganda campaign against multiple Mushroom Kingdom sanctions on his castle. The guy just doesn't know when to give up. All joking aside, it's cases like these that remind ourselves that we can't really be so paranoid over stupid things. Quite frankly, if we're getting ourselves this scared over stupid shit, then we don't have to worry about terrorists winning anything, because they've already won. And speaking of human stupidity, PayPal! Regular viewers of the show may remember when we discussed the crowdfunding campaign for Skullgirls, which was a huge success. However, Lab Zero ran into a bit of a snag when people actually froze their required funds, preventing them from paying their employees. The reasoning for this, according to PayPal, is because they feared a large number of chargebacks if backers didn't get their favorite characters in the final DLC roster.
You tiny-brained whappers of other people's bottoms!
Naturally, Lab Zero was pretty pissed off, considering that they managed to accrue over $800,000 worth of donations from the campaign, and everyone is already getting Squiggly and Big Band, with the third DLC character being voted on. The money is already in, so having to be concerned about chargebacks at this stage of the game is kind of dumb. Thankfully, the restrictions were lifted pretty quickly, with PayPal still holding $35,000 as collateral. Other people have since suggested using Amazon payments for future use, since they don't have the same issues that people run into with PayPal when it comes to donation campaigns. Just another reason why Amazon is so awesome and that they'll eventually take over the entire world. In other news, the final auction for THQ's assets came to a conclusion finally, and the results are out. With several small companies ended up making off with the remnants of the bankrupt company. But the real big winner ended up being Nordic Games for snatching up both Darksiders and Red Faction franchises. This led many people to ask the question, who the fuck is Nordic Games? Well, apparently, Nordic Games is an Austria-based company that specializes in publishing various lesser-known game titles, including the fairly recent Painkiller Hell and Damnation remake, a title that received mediocre reviews overall. They were also responsible for helping to bring the PC version of Alan Wake to North America last year, and have a rather high number of other publishing works, albeit very unknown properties of varying quality. So, what does this all mean for Darksiders? Honestly, I have no fucking clue. While this is certainly a better option than risking the franchise being driven into the ground by this year's Golden Poo recipient, the Electronic Arts, a pretty unknown company like Nordic suddenly snatching up a large, though very overrated, franchise like Darksiders brings questions of whether the company is going to actually do anything worthwhile with it. Then again, they could always pair up with Crytek, who ended up hiring most of the original development team for the series after THQ closed down, and work with the game together. Whether they'll actually go with that course of action or not is kind of up in the air. And one more little tidbit I want to bring up. I posted a kind of a pilot episode for another video game Let's Play that I'm working on with a good friend of mine, Jason Higa, over at Press Start Button Now. The play channel series is called The Trash Heap, where me and Higa play the worst video games ever made. And while there is no alcohol involved with this one, it's pretty hilarious because our inaugural episode was us going through Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, the video game adaptation for the martial arts movie, and man, that game is fucking terrible. First episode, and me and Higa were already at our limits, so it'll be interesting to see what other games can cost to us if we decide to move forward with this. Again, this is still kind of in the planning stages. We're working on fine-tuning things, nailing down some things like schedule, budget, all that other fun responsibility stuff. But hopefully we can move forward with a full-on series sometime in the near future once we nail all this stuff down. So the pilot episode is already uploaded on this channel. I think you'll probably link it in the annotations after this episode goes up. So check that out. Let me know what you think. Let us know what you think, and hopefully we'll make this into a full-blown series sometime soon. That's it for this week. Remember to give us a thumbs up on the video, hit the subscribe button to stay with the channel, and also make sure to visit the Facebook page to stay up to date when new videos go up. Until next time, I'm your host Mike, the Drunken Gamer, and I'll see you guys next time.